Hello and welcome to the Issues on Voice of the People television. I am Jerry Alpelioi. And tonight we're looking at survival, not in the wild, but in today's Nigerian economy. Prices are soaring, salaries are stagnant, jobs are scarce, and the middle class is shrinking. For many Nigerians, survival now takes strategy. But it's not just about money, it's also about dignity. A storm of public outrage is still trailing the rough treatment of Miss Comfort Imanson aboard an Ibom air flight last Sunday. The Nigerian Bar Association, civil society groups, and political leaders have all condemned what they described as a reckless, unlawful, and dehumanizing sin that threatens the fabric of justice and human dignity in Nigeria. In the now viral video, Ms. Imanson appears partially stripped while being dragged by aviation security officials despite protests from some eyewitnesses. The federal government, however, has since ordered the withdrawal of the case against her. But here's the bigger picture. Whether in our country or in our public spaces, ordinary Nigerians are too often sidelined, silenced, or pushed out. Tonight, we ask, how can the youth and middle class survive this economic squeeze and push back against a system that treats them without dignity? And definitely, that's why we have my guest, who is a communication expert and, of course, an engagement expert as well, an influencer and youth voice. Talking about Augustine Ibeche, popularly known on X as Daddy Dabs. Great to have you join us on the issues this lovely evening.
Thank you very much. It's really an honor. And honestly speaking, I never expected it, but here we are today.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot to unravel. Just stay with us after this short break. We'll dig deep into the conversation. Don't go away. Welcome back. Let's dive into today's conversation. All right, just before we went for that break, we told you earlier that we have our guest in the studio, and definitely we'll also be having Dr. Eric Thomas, who will be joining us virtually today as we take a look at critical issues. And of course, we'll be taking a look at the state of play. And of course, we also have Daddy Dabs himself. Would I stick with that Daddy Dabs, or I'll stick with Augustine Ibeche? Great to have you join us once again on the issues today. And of course, we always deal with social issues, current affairs, and of course, what's trending. And today, we'll be taking a look at the situation as far as the economy is concerned, and of course, the middle class situation, and so on and so forth. I know that Dr. Eric is now with us. Dr. Eric, it's great to have you joining us live on the issues. All right, Dr. Eric is not here with us, but let me start with you, Daddy Dabs, or would I say Ibeche? Okay, anyone is fine. Okay, I think I will be comfortable with Augustine Ibeche, and of course, I'll also switch to Daddy Dabs at some point in time. Okay, how would you describe the daily economic life of Nigerians, the working youth especially, and the middle class today?
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you very much for this question. Well, let me start with, there is nothing like middle class. Anymore.
Reality.
That is what it stands. Because, coming down here today, and I knew last 3 weeks or 4 weeks thereabout, I was asking my Uber driver, the guy that usually take me around Lagos for any of the events. He told me something about getting a Toyota Corolla about 9 million.
Wow.
And so we actually revisited the same conversation. Just few hours down here. And he was telling me 22 million, right? Yeah.
22 million.
22 million.
Wow.
Now, why did I believe him? Because I didn't believe him because before that, a colleague of mine was already told me that the price of things will definitely go higher again.
Yeah, I heard that something is happening with the customs.
God bless you. That
they've increased the fees and so on and so forth.
So the economic situation now is really, really terrible. Like I am saying now is, now if I want to now get a Tokumbo car, I will have to now save up to 22 million naira.
And where are you going to get that kind of savings?
Where will I,
with
now,
what income?
That is why when you go outside now, the regular Nigerian now is not, everybody's thinking of how to just escape the japa.
Even japa is not expensive.
That is the thing.
Pretty sound.
So there's nothing like even the Nigerian dream anymore. Have we even eaten? The regular Nigerian, have they eaten 3 square meal? So the situation is so bad, and I'm so afraid for the regular Nigerians.
So is the answer more about failed policies or global economic pressures? Because they always say that after the COVID, the economy all over the world got shook up and it affected Nigeria immensely. Well, the president is still buying private jets and they're flying all around.
The truth is, situation about everything in the country, it affects everybody. You know, Nigeria is not the only country going through issues. Every other countries are going through issues. But what is so critical about Nigerians' own is that we see these resources. The country is filled with a lot of talents, a lot of mineral resources, and we have the manpower. But yet, it's like what they call it, this regular word, monkey they walk, babu they chop. So the resources and the financial capability is just tinted towards the few. Whereas the elites,
political class,
and the distance, the gap is so enormous.
Capitalism?
There we have it. So the rich keep on getting richer, while the poor keep on getting poorer. Even the middle classes have disappeared. There's nothing about the middle class.
Yeah, you somehow on your X handle, you're trying to explain how people go through. I think I even saw a tweet. Will I say tweet now? Yeah. Because it's X. Definitely. Okay. Where someone was giving you an instance of what do they do when they have a situation where they have a bigger pay.
Definitely.
And trying to balance the situation. So even if you're earning more, is this still enough to take care of your needs, your basic needs, unlike it used to be back in the days when you were at least earning, let me say, 5 figures, and you can actually buy foodstuff and so on and so forth? How do you balance making a decision on where to go in terms of your earnings so that you can be able to meet up your expectations as a young man?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question. So one thing I would advise anybody watching is everybody not to, as in you have to learn to take your budget, financial budget, very, very seriously. I'll take an example of that. Last 4 weeks, I visited a supermarket where a chemist or pharmaceutical store where I got Astimi, about 3,002. This was first week of July. Then day before yesterday, I went to that same store to replenish it back, and I'm being told it's about 5,700.
Wow, that's a massive increase.
And the pharmacist said something that really shocked me. That, sir, you should be aware of this now. That the very moment you live here, the price of things are skyrocketing. So as it is now, the things are getting really, 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 really worse. So every Nigerian out there, regular Nigerian out there, you need to start budgeting seriously. And there's something I always advise my people, always called delayed gratification. So please, it's not whenever your income increases, that's not the time you start, flexing. I know you want to now wear that Rolex wristwatch. I know you want to now wear that tuxedo. No, there is. If the moment your financial power increases, double your savings, at least for the next 6 months. Continue living with the same mentality. Just like if you're earning 150,000 naira and your salary increases to 350 or 450, please, for the next 6 months, I know the temptation will come in because you just want to upgrade the lifestyle. Please avoid lifestyle inflation for the next 6 months. That's the advice I would give everyone.
Because you don't know the unforeseen.
You don't. You don't.
You saw what happened to Comfort in Manson.
Definitely.
Is that symbolic of the wider systemic disregard for ordinary Nigerians?
Well, I don't want to use a name, Comfort, so I will just use the regular, tagline that we use. Kwamtu. It just shows that we, as the ordinary Nigerians, we are in deep soup. That's just the word I will put it there, because before the Kwamtu, experience, we had the Kwam 1. and we saw how he actually reacted, how he actually displayed one single man stopping the airplane from moving.
Yeah, he was actually blocking the plane.
Blocking. No,
this one was not even blocking.
Nobody dragged him.
The plane. She was even inside the flight, but still yet.
Nobody. And they were even trying to, manage with him and everything. And a guy, he's a man. Now, look at the flip side. A lady dragged. That shows that if you don't have the asterisk name attached to your name, bro, you'll be dragged. Like, imagine if they can do that to a lady, how much more a guy?
I also saw a video of a man who was dragged, and he was even complaining, I'm going naked, and still here. And it seems like it's the Ibom issue, or is this just a peculiar situation? Because I even saw a senator, former governor of Edo State.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, he had an issue with the airpiece.
Exactly.
And we didn't hear anything about it.
Like,
he went under.
Do you get?
Okay. But now a young lady who is a Nigerian, ordinary Nigerians, are treated unfairly. And I even got to check what it costs to take a flight from Lagos to Akwa Ibom via the airpiece. That's almost 300K. That means that lady paid almost 300K for that flight.
Exactly.
And she's being treated like that.
Like that. So, what I would say is that I think everybody's at fault, and especially the airline. I think what they lack is what we call customer experience management. So this customer experience management is not just delivering services to the customer. It's like a journey that is being practiced, designed from end to end, whereby the customer don't just get serviced, they actually feel value, they feel respected, and also, they are being satisfied. And at that particular point, I don't think what happened yesterday, I don't think that customer or that lady herself is satisfied in any way. And it's just a clarion call that if such thing can happen to their customer, it can happen to anybody else. That's just it. Because no matter what would have instigated such, I want to also believe that there should have been like a feedback mechanism that should have known that whether such person is a regular passenger.
Yeah.
Thereabout, you understand? So that they would have known the history. Okay, this particular person, he doesn't like switching off her phone, or he likes switching off, putting her phone on flight mode. Is it a trend? They will know how to manage the situation.
And he's the one of, if she had been involved in things like that, I don't know, Ibom would have noticed that this is a customer who would always having problems. Exactly. And now they're even calling out the air hostess. They say she was the mastermind.
Because from the other video that she shared, you can see she was the one actually blocking her way.
But how come somebody within the Ibom Air flight officials, or Ibom Air officials, for instance, having access to such a situation like a video like that and letting it go out on social media, not considering the image of the airline itself? Definitely.
That's where I mentioned that that's where the customer experience and management has to come in. They lack that solid, management. Assuming that management is actually solid, the customer experience is solid there, then such conscious, because such thing that can happen to anything that can happen to another in Nigeria can happen to anybody.
Yeah, anybody can fall victim anytime, any day. And of course, let's take a look at, let's talk solutions for the young people. What are the most realistic ways for you to earn outside formal jobs? Because everybody's just 9 to 5.
Yeah. Well, let me start from the beginning. Before I gained admission into the university, I had this mentality, what we are being told, go to school, graduate, there's a job waiting for you. So we did that. Now you can see that now it's no longer there's a job waiting for you. Now you have to get a master's to upskill. After masters, we now move to another era where you have to now travel out and come back here to get upskill. Now, the latest now is now like get a skill. So you're not just graduating, having an MBA is not enough. What can you do? What can you offer outside your discipline? What can you do? So what I would advise people, because now, regardless of the situation, one thing I love about Nigerians, businesses are still coming up. People are still opening businesses. People are still selling. So one of the things I always advise my fellow human beings out there, my fellow friends and colleagues out there, get a skill. There's something called sales. There's something called advertising. There's something called digital marketing. There's something called communications. Everybody should learn this, because once you have such thing like that, people will always be ready to seek for your, for your skill, for your expertise.
Is it everybody has a brain for digital marketing, for instance, for online jobs?
I wouldn't want to mention tech because the only thing that everybody is talking is tech.
They're afraid.
They're afraid.
They look at it like something big. Can you break it down? Because is entrepreneurship the real answer or just the buzzword?
Well, the truth is, the reality is that not everybody is meant for entrepreneurship. There's something called entrepreneurship. If you know your 9 to 5 is your strength, please stick to it. If you can juggle both of them, all well and good. If you can do the entrepreneur, all well and good. But know that entrepreneur is not for everybody. There are up days and there are down days. But the truth is, the way we are moving now in this country, you need a skill, at least a soft skill.
A side hustle. A side hustle.
A side hustle, at least. At least. And you have to be very, very good at that because the social media is a level playing ground. People are watching. They might not react. They might not engage. But trust me, they are watching. I know how many gigs I've gotten from Twitter.
Okay.
People just reach out, Daddy Daos, please, I want you to join my team. We have so number of communications we want to push out or campaign we want to do for the next 1 week. Please, can you? And I will ask, why did you know that I can do this? Oh, I've been seeing you. I've been seeing your stuff. So these are the things that I just love doing out of hobby. But I realize that people are coming to me, people are asking me something. Of course, what do I need to do? I need to go and polish myself. Go and learn about it. Okay. So taking my hobby, turning it into a skill, and here we are today.
Yeah, talking about skill and tech, for instance, how can they afford skill acquisition under this inflation? Because now, for instance, I know just to go for tech training, you have to at least budget from 100, 150. Someone is earning 70K, for instance, monthly, and you're telling him to go and learn a skill or learn tech skills. How will you be able to afford it? Because you have to feed yourself.
Definitely.
You have to transport yourself to office.
Yeah.
And you have to still save. Of course, you just mentioned saving.
Sure.
So how do you balance saving to acquire that skill you have to pay for?
Okay. I will start with for whoever that is ready or is serious. I think there are definitely, not I don't think, there are free online courses out there.
Okay.
Coursera is there. Allison is there. There are basic learning. You go there, you learn it free. Now, after learning those ones free, of course, there are basic. Then if you notice that, okay, yes, you want to now upskill, that's where you have to now get the money. Of course, there are cheap ones there. Like, least I can know that 10,000. When I learned my content creation and then digital marketing, I think I paid about up to 15,000. Okay. I didn't just pay outrightly.
That was when inflation was not this much.
Well, you can say that. You can say that. But as well, like I always say, I know that there are some, like I said, a lot is happening on X. I know there are some big influencers doing, scholarship for top 10, of their followers. Just go out there online and you see a lot of scholarship volunteers. People are there ready to volunteer. If you want to volunteer, you learn. Afterwards, then of course you can upskill. Go to the intermediary, go to the, to the advanced learning. But like I said, the money is not just what should deter you. Are you really willing? Are you really hungry? Then once you are ready, go there.
What about being an apprentice? Because back in the days, apprentices used to be the way. Like you want to learn carpentry,
fantastic.
You go and meet an expert carpenter. Okay, you can go and apprentice to somebody who's already established in the tech world. Say, okay, how do you do it? Just teach me. Let me just be doing PA and learning under you.
That is
are there still such platforms? Because most especially
yes.
This generation, they like to hold their information and sell everything. Everything is about money. Are there still opportunities like that?
There are still opportunities like that, and I wouldn't want to mention names because, of course, but if anyone is interested, please fly into my DM and I will give you such link because I'm a living example of this volunteering.
Okay.
That I'm enjoying. Yeah. So I know a particular influencer online. He has been pushing that on a regular basis.
Okay.
Do you understand? Pushing that on a regular basis. So after you learn that basic one, the basic learning, then of course if you want to now move to the intermediate, to the advanced, there are some scholarship. But that is dependent on how serious and dedicated that you are. That's it.
Okay. A lot of talk about social media being a big space where a lot of people can make money. How can they use social media and networking as economic tools that will bring something back to them? because sometimes it looks like rocket science.
Okay.
It's more like it's difficult to explain. Can you break it down? Because there's this magic you do when you break down situation, and that looks simple, but more or less, me, I know that definitely this is not as simple as it is, but the way you break it down, it makes it look easy and very, very interpretable for people to understand.
So let me start. I will use a real life example. So before you actually break into the market, or before you actually get noticed, there is something called brand, personal branding. What are your focus? Before money will start coming, you have to give value. If I didn't give value, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I gave value. That's why you invited me here, right?
Yeah.
And when I mentioned it online, people are congratulating me, and I was telling them it didn't just start yesterday.
Yeah.
That tweet didn't just go viral yesterday.
Okay.
It's as a series of consistency, sharing my content, sharing what I believe, my own belief, my financial literacy content to the world. And of course, just one particular day, the particular one clicked, and here we are today. So know your niche first, know what you represent, define yourself, and keep pushing. Like I said, people are watching. Social media is one of the gold mine that I still believe even we Nigerians we are yet to untap. It's a gold mine that we're yet to untap, and people are watching. And the fantastic thing about it is that those that didn't even engage you, that didn't even react, will just come straight to your DM and offer you that particular offer when the time is right. So just what I would advise, keep pushing, keep tweeting, wherever your space are, whether it's on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, just keep doing it.
Yeah, when you say your niche, because niche will sound like something big.
Okay. Your area of focus.
I know what niche is.
Your area of
so
focus.
Break it down.
Your area of focus.
Could it be like maybe you're a carpenter and you know that you can make chairs? You focus on advertising your
fantastic
furniture.
There are some. Okay, so let me put it this way. So there are some that are good at talking about football.
Okay.
Some good at talking about fashion. Okay. Some good about talking about the medical industry. Whatever you know that you are good at, be it carpentry, be it food, be it marriage, be it if you're a relationship expert,
counseling,
Christianity, politics, whatever you know that you are good at.
So there's no limitation.
There's no limitation. Stick to that. Because me, personally, I'm on financial literacy, family-oriented education. You get, so I love talking about family. I love talking about real-life experiences. I love talking about my job as well, putting it in a storyline format. So that is why many people actually, resonate with me. So of course, the very time I now, gave birth, become a father, that also attributed to my, family-oriented content as well. So just know your particular area of space where you are actually good at, where you know that you can actually speak from your original point of view, and the sky is your limit.
All right. Definitely, I would also like to give our viewers a chance to drop your comments on our YouTube platform. And of course, there'll be numbers scrolling under your screen. You might want to ask questions. And of course, even drop messages we can also look at later. And of course, I trust that Daddy Dabs will also make sure that we'll also find a way to give you a reply and of course give you one or two information as far as handling the economic situation is concerned. But definitely I'm really particular about the youth and of course most especially the middle class, which definitely have not broken into the elite class yet. So I will still see myself as part of the middle class.
I don't know about you. Me, I'm a Lapo baby for life.
Oh, Lapo, okay.
I'm a Lapo baby for life.
We decided to bring it down to Lapo, okay? I'm still a Lapo baby. All right, let's talk about the middle class. The just middle class used to drive the economy. Where are they now? Because the people who were driving the economy, where did they all go, the middle class?
Oh, wow. Like I said when I started this conversation, I think at this point, permit me, I might be wrong, we are now mixed.
Okay.
Because the regular middle class can actually afford a car.
Yeah.
We are comfortable. Like they are comfortable. When the time comes for them to upgrade to the normal, to the elites, of course, it happens. But at this point in time, if you notice, the middle class people are the one even complaining more. The hike in food prices is alarming.
Yeah.
So you don't even know, like I was telling a colleague of mine the other day that I think people that are complaining now are the middle class. So the lower class, they don't even have a voice anymore.
Yes.
You can't even hear them. You can't even hear them. So it's so bad that at this point in time, the gap between the rich and the poor. So inside the poor now, you now have the middle class, because you can't even differentiate who is who. But of course, the middle class, they struggle to afford the basic needs. So I don't know if you've experienced it nowadays when you are just highlighting from the bus or on the bus stop, you will just see a middle-aged man or woman coming to ask you for money.
My DM is full of it.
They are not beggars.
Yeah, they're just trying to
the least just to survive.
Yeah.
The other day, one met me. I just need to eat, and I was afraid.
They won't tell you not to give them money.
Did you get?
They'll point at an eatery nearby and say, "Just pay for the food and I'm good."
So whether you like it or not, these are the middle class we are talking about. So it's now becoming so bad that even the lower class can't even speak anymore. So at this point in time, if care is not taken, I don't want to speak it about care is not taken. I think the regular Nigerians no longer see.
The stats are there says that there's multi-dimensional poverty now, in the sense that that's just the evil way of saying it. People can no longer afford the basic needs for themselves. You cannot just gallantly go to the mall and believe that what you have will be able to get everything you need.
Exactly.
So even at the mall, you're even cutting down on things you want to buy because your expectations are being cut short. But it's pretty sad. Even when we go to church, we pray that our expectation will not be cut short. But Nigeria's economy will cut such expectations.
It's unbelievable.
Which policies could protect the middle class from sliding actually into poverty? Because even talking about the government, they still believe that people can still survive. Because just recently, fuel was almost hitting 1,000. I think I just saw the news recently that they slashed it again to 820. But how do you balance where your salary can afford an 850, 820 fuel, but all of a sudden you have to buy for that almost 1,000 and so on and so forth? So how do we make sure that we've been protected? Because even the end bad governance, when we protest, the next day it even gets worse.
Exactly.
So is there any way that actually there can be a pushback for the government and people around us to listen? Even the employers, I know it's not easy. Yeah. I've seen situations where teachers are still earning 15,000, 25,000 in private schools in this economy. So nobody's even protecting them, for instance. And those teachers are supposed to teach the middle class children, for instance. And what is going to protect the middle class from sliding eventually to poverty? Okay,
well, I will start from the working class. One thing, like you rightly mentioned about the employers. I think one of the things that I would suggest for the employers is I'm just begging their indulgence if they can actually make this hybrid work style, work-life balance. Okay,
balancing work at home and
because
not every
the transportation cost is not easy. The other day, beginning of this month, I and my wife were calculating our transport, engagement for the week, and I was thrown off balance of how much we spent on transportation alone. It was really alarming. So sometimes I would just, I envy those that are actually doing remote because, of course, it's helpful because it's easier for them because all those money we now have to now use to focus on other things. So one thing I will also tell the employers out there, if they can actually, make this hybrid thing at least a thing to stay, at least maybe 2 days, 3 days a week, then the remaining days the employees can work from home. Another one again is it's all us and the government. So this is 2027 is coming. Whether we like
you still believe in 2027 there is going to be any difference?
Change? It all depends on me and you. Look at NSAS. We did it.
Okay.
That was the very first time I noticed that one voice can actually speak loud.
What about the aftermath?
Well, like I said, strike the shepherd and what happened to the sheep? The other sheep is scattered. But the truth is, once we come together as one again in 2027, we've already noticed the loopholes that happened, during the last election. So working with that, once we come together, we can make it happen. I'm not speaking for anybody.
Yeah,
I'm not speaking for anybody.
The loopholes you're talking about, for instance, created by the system. And the system is still in operation, and they will be in 2027. What makes you confident that those loopholes are going to be covered ahead of 2027? Because a lot of Nigerians were sleeping in the night when, of course, at 4 a.m., the results were announced.
The results were announced, but I want to believe this time around, when we are preparing, of course, nobody stops us. How did we actually manage to gather that momentum with the medicals, with the transportations, going there on that link bridge, stay there overnight? Many people came with their appliances, DJs and everything. So I think this time around, if we can actually have a system, a useful system with one goal, who said we cannot monitor the
youth are getting information and so on and so forth. So sometimes it's even difficult to balance who's actually for the youth and those who are not for the youth. Of course, we've seen those who were radical at the beginning, but at the end they've taken sides because of their own pockets. So at the end of the day, is it not going to? Are we not going to have a situation where those who give the youth the necessary information to know what is actually happening are bought over by this same system, and eventually there's no voice? Because let's not forget, even Twitter was banned for almost a year.
That's
What stops them from doing that same thing again ahead of the election?
Well, like they say, we cannot know until we try. Because I think an indelible mark has been met or has been achieved through that NSAS. I will always go back to that NSAS. Because whether we like it or not, the youth of this country shook the country. Like, we hold the whole government.
If you get a call from Master Rock that you should halt whatever idea you have about the Nigeria and so on and so forth. Okay, take 100 million, mobilize your followers, and take a chill pill. Are you not going to take the offer?
Until then, you may never know. I've just said that. Until then,
you might take the offer.
I did not say that.
But you're giving yourself a situation where it's 50-50. Now, is that what you're saying? 50-50. You might and you might not. Because
what is the guarantee that if I take it and I follow the bandwagon, my child is there? Is there any guarantee?
You will benefit from the 100 million, for instance. At least you'll be able to fly them out of the country, locate your family.
So does that even make the country better? It still make the country even more worse than it is.
Is that even in the conscience of those who are taking those offers?
So one thing I will always say is that many of these people that actually sell themselves, they are not actually just thinking the futuristic. Because the truth is, after today, what next? Whether we like it or not, a time is coming, I'm mentioning like, a time is coming, where everyone is going out there. A time is coming, those people out there will start saying, okay, no, we don't want you people again, go back home. I don't know if you remember about Ghana Must Go. Yeah. It happened.
It recently happened in Ghana, where the Ghanaians were asking the Nigerians to leave because a certain man wanted to become a king in Ghana and so on and so on. They were not too comfortable with that. And so on. So even the UK, for instance, of course, we know what happened in the US. Maybe because Nigerians contributed immensely in the US, Nigerians were not deported from the United States, for instance. Yeah. But if that happens, we're going to ask ourselves questions on the long run that where did we get it wrong? But there's a brain drain already. Which is not even telling well in the country. Yeah. It's not even telling well because I had a situation of a particular friend of mine who's a nurse complaining bitterly of how she was admitted into the hospital. She was down for 3 days, took 3 days leave, 3 days sick leave, let me put it that way, 3 days sick leave. And on the third day, she was still being called to come and report to the clinic to treat a patient. In Nigeria or abroad?
In Nigeria, yeah. Okay. What does that tell you? No, as in the number of nurses are limited.
And the president said we have enough, and he's even planning to send more to St. Lucia and Jamaica and so on and so forth.
So you can imagine. So, and how many patients was this scheduled to take care of? Alone, she was scheduled for 17 patients. 17. One nurse. 17 really, for someone that took 3 days leave. So you can see the brain is already eating us up. So if we don't act fast, the time is coming, we'll walk into the hospital and we'll not see anybody, we really want to treat ourselves.
Yeah, pretty sad. But how do incidents like Ibom Air reflect deeper systemic problems in governance and corporate culture? Because I even heard that ambassadorship is flying around
Definitely.
for K1, and they're even considering ambassadorship for comfort as well.
Well, it's just like, so thankfully, I would just thank both for everybody that actually lend their voice, especially the MBA.
Yeah.
So it just shows that
Yeah.
for the ordinary Nigerians' voice to be heard, everybody has to come together as one to push. Because if we don't push, of course, as long as you don't belong in that status, you'll be neglected. So it just means that everybody should just come out in mass and talk. The very moment you are not comfortable with what the system is doing to a particular citizen, because whether you like it or not, we should remove that mentality that it doesn't concern me, because whether you like it or not, tomorrow it might be you. That is not about you now, doesn't mean that it's not going to be about you tomorrow. So this particular issue that happened just shows that we ordinary Nigerians, our life is at stake. And if care is not taken, once it hits and nobody comes around to speak, then of course, that what's her name, Miss Comfort, will just be in kirikiri like that.
Let's talk about nepotism online. Nepotism, bigotry is becoming a disgusting issue happening mostly on X, for instance. And are you comfortable with the fact that nothing is being done to report this so as to make sure that this doesn't continue? I think in time past we used to have situations where those are reported and those who have those handles are reported so that it will not continue, because somehow it's creating an image and a fear of what might happen in 2027. And of course, we all know what happened in 2023, where a lot of people were disenfranchised due to bigotry and nepotism at the end of the day, and so on and so forth. If in Nigeria that is even those in the system, in the government, are even giving lucrative positions and even identifying with those who are pushing this bigotry. So how dangerous is it being promoted online and people are getting away with it?
Online is not even the issue. So I don't think you should be bothering about
because
what's
even
the
offline, I still see people from different tribes eating together and nothing is happening.
That's just the thing. So honestly speaking, about the nepotism and bigotry, I think I've had the fair share of it, and I don't, in fact, see anything about politics, Nigerian politics, I don't just want to involve myself in it, because the truth is, until we realize that these politicians themselves are for themselves, because one thing I've noticed about Nigerian politicians, they only fight online. At the end of the day, when me and you are sleeping, some of them are behind
drinking and having fun.
Because many of us are just like
a tool.
So the issue about nepotism and bigotry online is not even the issue. It's what is happening outside, offline. I was opportune to have an experience of what happened during the last election, and how a single-handed person said nobody is going to vote. And the truth is, at the end of the day, nobody actually voted.
At the polling unit.
At the polling unit. When I was about going until I saw that they slapped somebody in front of me. What do you expect me to do? You expect me to challenge such person? The father?
He took a bow?
Of course, definitely.
At least, okay. If you're taking a bow, what happens in 2027 when you know that somebody's already been slapped before you even come out of your house?
So this time around, so that's what I'm saying, that we need to now come in as one, as a complete voice. Of course, if it means even the youth themselves having their own authority, having their own security around, if possible, taking charge. Taking charge, because these people are not smiling.
Okay.
We know these people. They are not smiling. And they can do anything just to make sure that that particular figure they want to be on that throne, be on the throne.
Is that asking for a revolution?
Well, something I know about Nigerians, nobody is willing to die, but everyone wants to go to heaven.
Yeah, like what happened in Kenya?
So if that
is happened in Nigeria?
Well, we had Biafra once happened, and we knew how it ended.
It didn't succeed.
It didn't succeed, but at least it shook the nation.
Okay.
So if we are ready, the truth that Nigerians, we are not even ready.
Okay.
So if we are ready to actually, because the truth is, for us to have the new Nigeria, whether you like it or not, blood must flow. That is just the reality of it.
That's a really difficult situation. But let's now go back to the situation of the economy. How can professionals protect their rights at work, in banks, and in public spaces? Because, for instance, you get a situation where you are paid peanuts, and nobody, let's say the NLC, for instance, the labor unions are really just there for themselves. So how do people protect themselves from economic hardship and be able to negotiate a salary, for instance, that will be able to meet your needs? And does somebody just accept his fate because where I'm working, if I'm not sure I'm going to get another job because there's unemployment, how am I sure I'm going to get another job? Even when you know you're good.
Definitely.
How do you be able to take that decision and say, this is what my value is?
Well, I think one thing that we as Nigerians or as professionals need to actually realize is knowing your worth.
Okay.
Because the truth is, when you know your worth, even the employers, they are definitely looking for, someone that will actually, deliver on the job. And of course, I know that, many companies nowadays in the country, there's what we call the human resources. Of course, the HR, they are doing their best, and you just have to just notify yourself and know what is at stake for you. Know your worth, stand your ground. Of course, be smart about it. So once you are smart about it and you actually give and present what you can give, definitely, of course, you will definitely scale through. It's not going to be funny or easy at first, but consistency, doggedness, of course, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, we've made mention of the middle class, and of course the youth who are trying to come up, because a lot of youth now want to go to legal means of making money to measure up. We've seen situations where they say those who are involved in Yahoo, for instance, are the ones who are bringing life to a certain environment in terms of economic boom and so on. Do you think they played a role in making inflation a really big situation? Because we've seen situations where even the EFCC have been mentioned that the reason why the economy is this way, the Yahoo boys have contributed because they brought a lot of money into the economy. What about the politicians and so on and so forth? So who takes the blame? How was the balance of the blame?
Well, I'll put it this way. I will just be as plain as possible as I can be. I think the youth nowadays they are no longer comfortable with monkey they chop. Monkey they walk, but with the chop.
Okay.
So, obviously, there's this other line that says what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. So, crime, whether we like it or not, is a bad thing.
Okay.
However, I think that is where the government now has to now come in and do a lot of sensitization. Sensitization is key. Has the Yahoo contributed to the inflation? Obviously, yes. I will use it as an example where during my house hunt, of course.
Okay. Yeah, trying to get
a
decent apartment.
A decent apartment.
Yes.
It was glaring. I was at a particular place trying to negotiate the price of a particular apartment with the landlord or with the caretaker and whoever it is then. And lo and behold, the guy just told me, "Oga, if you are not ready, before you step out of here, another guy will come and pay, and he will pay times 2." Now, I'm like, who is this particular guy? Like, there are many.
The population of them, are they that much that they could actually influence as much as accommodation fees and so on and so forth? It's crazy because you will see a regular apartment in Lagos that that can go for at least 250, 300. Then the very moment you try to go, to make an inquiry, you are hearing an exorbitant price of 1.2 million. And you hear the caretaker telling you that this thing is small now, somebody can pay it. Before you go, somebody can pay it. And somebody will actually pay for it.
I've been in a particular situation whereby such things, coming the next day to negotiate, and he told me it has already been taken. So I'm asking, are there people like this that can actually, in my own level, that can actually pay for such thing like this? That's the question I keep on asking. But of course, when you dig deep, you just know that, okay, this is not the regular, professionals that are working. We know them. They know them.
Does that give the government more reason to believe that whenever they push at us, we have a lot of youth who are involved in illegal means of making money so they can actually survive? That's why the government is not really moved in developing the economy and making things better. They allow the youth to go into legality to bring the money in, and of course they can take care of themselves.
I don't want to believe that, because if that is the case, then even the government themselves are also, responsible for this particular act.
So you're silently motivating them.
Definitely. Definitely. So it's something.
What's the solution?
Well, like I said, I think this is where we, the youths that are learned, we now have to come in and play. We need to sensitize. Because whether you like it or not, it is it's giving us a bad influence, a bad reputation outside.
Yeah.
And you will not know the issue of all these things are until you go outside the country. Because I have a lot of friends out there, some family members out there, how once they just mention the name Nigeria, especially your green card, your passport,
We need to look at you in a funny way.
Regardless. And that is a very, very hurtful thing, to actually look at someone and you just being stereotyped.
Hey, Daz, what are you doing yourself to create a change? It's a mentality shift, so that at least you can use your platform and say, this is what I'm doing. Are you contributing?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier on, which I'm always there to actually engage my followers and advise them that regardless, yes, things are hard, but regardless, we can still make do with what we have. Never stop, keep pushing. So that's why I always advise that, yes, the very moment you start going up the ladder, please, there's what we call delayed gratification. Don't just tune in into the lifestyle inflation.
Okay.
At least for the next 6 months, live, save, still operate in that your lower cadre inflow. So that at the end of the day, once it is time for you to upskill, then it will be easy. Because this mentality of working and before the month end, you're already down flat. The youth, we need to really, really wake up. We need to take saving very, very seriously.
Very seriously.
Very, very seriously. And budget everything that goes out.
Are you going to contest? Maybe sometime. It's not about just saying it, being part of those who are the policy makers.
Well, I'm not a fan of politics.
Okay.
I already have this mentality about Nigerian politics is a dirty game. But of course, like my pastor will always say, if you really need change, you have to go there and make the change. Because gone are the days whereby we now give our tickets to people that we don't know.
Okay.
So, but of course, if the opportunity comes, why not?
All right. If the opportunity comes, and of course, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
On the issues today. I must say you've done excellently well. And of course, I'll keep monitoring and see what you're doing.
Sure.
It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Of course, like I see I've had you before, but it's a pleasure having you today. And subsequently, maybe.
Thank you very much. I'm available anytime.
All right. Okay. We've heard about the struggles, the strategies, and changes needed for youth. Diversify your income, build skills, stay politically aware. For the middle class, demand better policies and protect your rights. In Nigeria today, survival may be a skill, but dignity is a right. We must fight for both. And that's it on the issues. I am Jerry Apelioi, and this has been the issues on Voice of the People Television. Have a good one.